everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Personal Growth Talks, the podcast, where we explore powerful ideas to help you become the best version of yourself. I'm your host, Henry.
And I'm Sarah, your co-host. Thanks for joining us again today. Whether you're out for a walk, on your lunch break, or just relaxing at home, we're so glad to have you with us.
Today's topic is a really important one. We're talking about something that affects every part of our lives: how to discipline your mind.
Yes, and this isn't just about motivation or being strong mentally. We're going to break it down in simple steps with real-life examples, personal stories, and of course, tips you can start using today.
And if you're learning English, don't worry. We speak clearly, explain new words, and keep things natural so you can learn while growing your mindset.
Exactly. So grab a cup of tea or coffee if that's your thing, and let's dive into the art of mastering your mind.
Let's do it. This is how to discipline your mind right here on Personal Growth Talks. All right, Sarah. So let's start at the beginning. When we say discipline your mind, what are we really talking about?
Great question. Simply put, disciplining your mind means training yourself to think and act in a focused, calm, and positive way, even when life gets messy or difficult.
Exactly. It's like going to the gym, but instead of building your muscles, you're building mental strength. And let's be honest, we all need that.
Yes. And here's why it matters. Your mind is like the control center for your entire life. If your thoughts are messy, your life will feel messy. But if you learn to guide your mind, everything changes. Your habits, your focus, your confidence.
That's so true. Think about it. People who succeed in life, whether it's in business, sports, or personal relationships, almost always have one thing in common: mental discipline.
Definitely. And it doesn't mean they're perfect. It means they've learned how to manage their emotions, avoid distractions, and stay consistent even when things get tough.
And one example that comes to mind is athletes. A top-level athlete trains their body, yes, but they also train their mind. They stay calm under pressure, they push through discomfort, and they don't give up when they're tired.
That's such a great point. And it's not just about big goals either. Mind discipline helps in small daily things like choosing not to scroll on your phone for an hour or speaking kindly to yourself when you make a mistake.
Right. Without it, we get stuck in cycles: procrastination, self-doubt, emotional reactions. But when we start disciplining our mind, we break those cycles.
And we become more productive, more peaceful, and honestly just more in control of our lives.
Well said. So if you've ever felt like your mind is all over the place, don't worry. You're not alone. And the good news is, it's a skill you can build.
Exactly. We're going to show you how. But first, let's talk about some of the common challenges people face when trying to discipline their mind.
Let's do it.
So, Henry, now that we understand why disciplining the mind is important, let's talk about the things that make it hard.
Oh yeah, there are definitely a few. The first one that comes to mind is procrastination. That habit of putting things off, even when you know they're important.
Guilty. I've done that more times than I'd like to admit. It's like, you want to do the thing, but your brain says, let's just check Instagram one more time.
Exactly. It's not laziness. It's just a lack of mind control in that moment. Your emotions are calling the shots instead of your goals.
And that leads to another challenge: distractions. We live in a world full of them. Phones buzzing, notifications popping up, people talking, emails flying in.
Yes, our minds are constantly jumping from one thing to another. It's hard to stay focused when everything is screaming for your attention.
Totally. And let's not forget negative self-talk, that inner voice that says you're not good enough or why even try.
Oh, that voice can be brutal. And the worst part is, sometimes we don't even realize it's happening. We just feel bad, unmotivated, and we don't know why.
Exactly. That's why awareness is step one. We can't fix what we don't notice.
And then there's emotional reactions when something annoys you or hurts your feelings, and you just snap or shut down. It's natural, but when the mind isn't disciplined, emotions take the wheel.
Been there. Like someone cuts you off in traffic and suddenly you're fuming for the next hour, even though it doesn't really matter.
Right. That emotional reaction steals your energy, your time, even your peace of mind. And over time, those little moments build up into stress or burnout.
So, to sum it up, some of the biggest challenges are 1. Procrastination, 2. Distractions, 3. Negative self talk, 4. Emotional overreaction.
Exactly. These things are normal. We all face them. But the good news is they're not permanent. With a bit of training, we can overcome them.
That's right. And up next, we're going to talk about what a disciplined mind actually looks like so you know what you're working toward.
Stick around. All right. So we've talked about the struggles, but now let's shift gears. What does it look like when someone actually has a disciplined mind?
Yes, because sometimes people think mental discipline means being cold, strict, or emotionless, but that's not true at all.
Not at all. A disciplined mind is actually calm, clear, and focused. One of the first signs is emotional control. You still feel emotions, of course, but you don't let them control your actions.
Exactly. So instead of snapping when you're angry or shutting down when you're stressed, you take a breath, you pause, and you respond with intention.
Another sign is consistency. Disciplined minds don't rely on motivation. They create routines, and they stick with them even when they don't feel like it.
That's such a big one, like waking up early, going to the gym, or studying English every day. It's not always fun, but disciplined people just do it anyway.
Right, and here's one more rational thinking. When your mind is disciplined, you don't let panic or fear make your decisions. You think things through. You ask, is this true? Is this helpful?
That's powerful. And I'd add self-awareness to the list, too. A disciplined person knows their own patterns. They notice when they're slipping, and they gently bring themselves back on track.
Absolutely. It's not about being perfect. It's about being in control, even in small ways.
So if you find yourself handling stress better, focusing more easily, or being more consistent, you're on the right track.
And don't worry if you're not there yet. Stick with us because up next, we're diving into practical tips and strategies to help you discipline your mind once. All right, now for the part you've been waiting for. How do you actually train your mind to be more disciplined?
Yes, we've got 5 powerful tips to share, and trust me, they're simple but super effective. Let's jump right in with tip number 1. Start with small wins.
When people hear discipline your mind, they think of huge changes. But the truth is, discipline grows from small, daily actions.
Exactly. Like making your bed every morning, drinking water before coffee, or setting a 10-minute timer to study. Those little wins build mental strength.
They create a habit of following through, which trains your brain to trust yourself.
On to tip number 2. Control your environment. Your surroundings affect your mind more than you think.
That's right. If your phone is always buzzing with notifications, or your workspace is messy, your mind will be distracted before you even start.
So try this. Turn off non-essential notifications, keep your phone in another room while working, or organize your space. Make it easy to focus.
You don't have to rely on willpower alone. Set yourself up for success.
Tip number 3 is one of my personal favorites. Pause and breathe. When you feel overwhelmed, angry, or distracted, stop, take a deep breath, and reset.
It's simple but powerful. Just 5 seconds of deep breathing can give your mind enough space to respond instead of react.
Especially in emotional situations, it helps you take back control before saying or doing something you'll regret.
Discipline doesn't mean ignoring emotions. It means handling them wisely.
Tip number 4, practice saying no to distractions, to overcommitting, even to your own excuses.
Oof, that's a tough one, but so important. When you say no to things that don't serve your goals, you're saying yes to what really matters.
And it doesn't have to be rude. You can say, not right now, or I have other priorities. The point is to protect your time and energy.
And finally, tip number 5, reflect daily. This is about checking in with yourself, just 5 minutes at the end of the day.
Ask yourself, what went well today? Where did I lose focus? What can I do better tomorrow?
Writing it down in a notebook or journal can be really helpful. It builds self-awareness and helps you track your progress.
And don't beat yourself up if you had a rough day. Just learn and keep moving forward.
So, let's recap the 5 tips to discipline your mind. 1. Start with small wins. 2. Control your environment. 3. Pause and breathe. 4. Practice saying no. 5. Reflect daily.
If you work on just one of these each week, you'll start to feel more in control, more focused, and more confident.
And remember, discipline is not about being perfect. It's about showing up for yourself consistently, patiently, and with intention.
Well said, Henry. Stick around, because next we'll talk about how to build these practices into your daily life without burning out. All right, friends, before we wrap up, we want to leave you with a few simple daily practices, things you can start doing today to build a more disciplined mind.
Yep, nothing complicated here. Just small habits that make a big impact over time. Ready? Let's go.
Number 1, start your day with intention. Before you check your phone, ask yourself, what's one thing I want to focus on today?
Number 2, do one thing at a time. When you're working, just work. When you're resting, just rest. Multitasking sounds productive, but it actually trains your brain to be scattered.
Number 3, set a 5-minute check-in in the evening. Ask yourself, did I stay focused? Where did I struggle? What will I try tomorrow?
And here's a bonus. Take one deep breath before reacting, especially when something annoys or stresses you. That one breath can change everything.
These tiny habits may seem small, but practice daily. They build your mental muscles. Just like brushing your teeth, they become automatic over time.
Exactly, and the key is consistency, not perfection.
So choose just one to start with today. And keep showing up, you've got this.
You know, Sarah, disciplining your mind can sound so serious and heavy, but it's really about the small, personal stuff, the real-life moments.
Totally. So we thought it might be helpful to share a little from our own journeys, because we're all learning, right?
Absolutely. Okay, I'll go first. A few years ago, I had this habit of checking my phone first thing in the morning, and it wasn't just a quick scroll. It would steal 30, sometimes 40 minutes of my time before I even got out of bed,
Oh yes, that sounds familiar.
right? So I challenged myself to leave my phone outside the bedroom. It was tough at first. I kept reaching for it. But after a few days, I started feeling clearer in the mornings, more present. That tiny change actually helped me build a morning routine I've stuck with ever since.
That's a good one. For me, it was emotional reactions. I used to get really frustrated when things didn't go as planned. I'd overthink, beat myself up, or even take it out on other people.
You no way.
Oh, yeah. But I started practicing something simple. I'd write down what triggered me and ask, is this in my control? If not, I'd let it go. It wasn't easy, but over time I started responding instead of reacting.
That's powerful. And I think our listeners can relate. It's not about being perfect. It's about becoming more aware of your mind and learning to guide it.
Exactly. Discipline isn't a switch you flip, it's a path you walk. One moment, one choice at a time.
Wow, what a conversation. If you're still with us, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the power of mind discipline.
We covered a lot today. Why discipline matters, the challenges we all face, the signs of a strong mind, and of course, some real-life tips and stories.
Let's do a quick recap for our listeners. Start small discipline begins with tiny daily actions. Control your environment to reduce distractions. Pause and breathe when emotions rise. Learn to say no to what doesn't serve you. Reflect daily to keep growing.
And remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about showing up, even on the hard days, especially on the hard days.
So here's your challenge. Pick one habit we talked about and try it for the next 7 days. Just one. You'll be surprised how much progress you can make.
And if you found this episode helpful, please share it with a friend, leave us a comment, or subscribe so you don't miss the next one.
Until next time, keep growing, keep learning, and most of all, keep believing in yourself.
This has been Personal Growth Talks with Henry and Sarah. Talk to you soon.
And that brings us to the end of today's episode. Thanks so much for spending your time with us.
We hope you're walking away with a few tools, a bit of inspiration, and maybe even a new mindset to try out.
If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review, or share it with someone who could use a little mental motivation today.
You can also follow us on social media or check the show notes for more tips and resources. We love hearing from you.
Signing off from Personal Growth Talks, keep growing, and we'll catch you in the next one.